Hey everybody, how you doing? It is Chris with Everyday Christian. We're going to go over Genesis chapter 21 today. I think it's kind of interesting. We're going to learn about a baby, and his name is Isaac. Who's Isaac? We're about to find out. The Lord kept his word and did for Sarah exactly what he had promised. She became pregnant and she gave birth to a son for Abraham in his old age. This happened at just the time God had said it would, obviously. And Abraham named his son Isaac. 8 days after Isaac was born, Abraham circumcised him as God had commanded. Abraham was 100 years old. Abraham was 100 years old when Isaac was born. Goodness. I'm 42, and no, I couldn't imagine having any more kids. So this dude's 100 years old. You know, Father Abraham, I call him dude. But he's 100 years old, and he's having a son. Now, his wife, I think at this time is like 89, 90, 91, somewhere around there. Excuse me. But that's very uncommon for today. And so I don't know how it was back then, but obviously I don't think it's very common. But the dude's 100. That's 3 digits. That's insane to have any kind of baby, boy or girl. Only 2 genders. Throwing that one out there. And Sarah declared, God has brought me laughter. All who hear about this will laugh with me. Who would have said to Abraham that Sarah would nurse a baby, right? Because he couldn't have children. Yet I have given Abraham a son in his old age. Again, he's 100 years old. When Isaac grew up, when Isaac grew up and he was about to be weaned, Abraham prepared a huge feast to celebrate the occasion. But Sarah saw Ishmael, right? This is Abraham's other child with the son of Abraham and her Egyptian servant Hagar? As we've already went over. Because Sarah didn't believe God would do this. And now we have Isaac. But Sarah saw Ishmael, the son of Abraham, and her Egyptian servant Hagar, making fun of her son Isaac. So she turned to Abraham and demanded, is what it says, get rid of the slave woman and her son. He is not going to share the inheritance with my son Isaac. I won't have it. This upset Abraham very much because Ishmael was his son. But God told Abraham, do not be upset over the boy and your servant. Do whatever Sarah tells you, for Isaac is the son through whom your descendants will be counted. But I will also make a nation of the descendants of Hagar's son, because he is your son too. So Abraham got up the next morning, prepared food and a container of water, and strapped them on Hagar's shoulders. She's not a donkey, she's a human. But strapped them on Hagar's shoulders. Then he sent her away with her son, and she wandered aimlessly in the wilderness of Beersheba. When the water was gone, she put the boy in the shade of a bush. Then she went and sat down by herself about 100 yards away, and that's a whole football field. Sat about 100 yards away. I don't want to watch the boy die, she said, as she burst into tears. Dude, I feel for that lady. Like, you have this life, and you're, I don't know, I think master, or because she was a slave at the time, but Abraham sent her away. Look, I know I had a son with you. Got to go. And being in that position with just kind of going through the emotions of, wandered aimlessly in the wilderness. That's rough. Don't want to watch the boy die as she burst into tears, right? She's feeling super helpless. But God heard the boy crying, and the angel of God called to Hagar from heaven. Hagar, what's wrong? Don't be afraid. God has heard the boy crying as he lies there. Go to him and comfort him, for I will make a great nation from his descendants. Right? God has already said this to Abraham. Evidently, that message did not get, sent to Hagar and her son. Then God opened Hagar's eyes. That's interesting. I never read it that way before. And she saw a well full of water. She quickly filled her water container and gave the boy a drink. And God was with the boy as he grew up in the wilderness. He became a skillful archer, and he settled in the wilderness of Paran, Paran. His mother arranged for him to marry a woman from the land of Egypt. About that time, Abimelech, which we heard already in chapter 20, came with Phicol, Phicol. I would say Phicol, his army's commander, to visit Abraham. God is obviously with you, helping you in everything you do, Abimelech said. Swear to me in God's name that you will never deceive me, my children, or any of my descendants. Seems fair, right? We went a chapter, but so Isaac's weaning at this point. I'm not really sure what the timeline is there, whether it's 5 years or 15. I couldn't tell you, but anyway, swear to me in God's name that you will never deceive me, my children, or any of my descendants. I have been loyal to you, so now swear that you will be loyal to me and to this country where you are living as a foreigner. Abraham replied, yes, I swear it. Is that easy? Yeah. Then Abraham complained to Abimelech about a well that Abimelech's servants had taken by force from Abraham's servants. This is the first I've heard of it, Abimelech answered. I have no idea who is responsible. You have never complained about this before. Abraham then gave some of his sheep, goats, and cattle to Abimelech, and they made a treaty. But Abraham also took 7 additional female lambs and set them apart by themselves. Abimelech asked, why have you set these 7 apart from the others? Abraham replied, please accept these 7 lambs to show your agreement that I dug this well. Then he named the place Beersheba, which means well of the oath, because that is where they had sworn an oath. After making the covenant of Beersheba, Abimelech left with Phicol, the commander of his army, and then returned home to the land of the Philistines. Then Abraham planted a tamarisk tree at Beersheba, Tamarisk, tamarisk tree at Beersheba, and there he worshipped the Lord, the eternal God. And Abraham lived as a foreigner in Philistine country for a long time. Yeah, Philistine country for a long time. It kind of read weird, so I had to re-look it over. But there's a lot in this. Okay, we have a baby to some very old people, one of them in the triple digits. And then as Isaac was about to be weaned, you have Ishmael and his mother Hagar making fun of Isaac. I don't know if it was mean or anything. I couldn't tell you. But Sarah was like, yeah, we're done. You guys got to go. Lord is, yep, we're good. I'll make a nation out of him as well. But the way Hagar just went with the boy into the wilderness, walked around. It says wandered aimlessly, and I fair. You kind of get kicked out of the house, and I guess kicked out of your life, of everything you know, and well, what do you do now? Or where am I going to live? There's like 100 different things probably going through your mind. And then she has her son with her as well. I don't want to watch this boy die, burst into tears. And that breaks me. I don't know why it breaks me so much, but I'm just her. I can almost feel it. And it's gut wrenching. So we're going to get past that point. Angel of God called to Hagar. Hey, look, everything's going to be fine. We got a well here. Drink. And God has, made things wonderful. Grew up, became a skillful archer. His mother arranged for him to marry a woman from the land of Egypt. Right? Obviously, that's going to be a completely different path than Abraham and Isaac take. But, God has also made a way. So, by that time, Abimelech came with his commander. Hey, dude, we're good, right? He's like, yeah, we're good. But about this well, Okay. Took care of business, gave each other a high five and a handshake or whatever the case. And says Abraham lived as a foreigner in the Philistine country for a long time. Done. So that's all chapter 21. Next time we're going over chapter 22, obviously, Abraham's faith tested. And that's a really good one. Some interesting commentary that I got from my friends, and it made sense after I had to think about it for, I don't know, 5 minutes or something like that. Had to speak it over. I'm like, okay, cool. But that's going to be next time. Hopefully it'll be again this week. Again, I do apologize for not doing anything last week. Took a week off. But it's okay. We're here and we keep going, right? Stumble, we get back up. With that, be cool to each other. Stay safe out there. I love you. Be blessed.